How beautiful it is when you hear a story, and in general, if you hear the stories. But it's also beautiful when you hear from someone who really knows how to talk. Someone know how to make phrases and sentences and display and say it to you in a way that it will grab your attention. What about if a story coming from the mouth of Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wasallam, the best human being, the one who walked on the face of this earth? He is saying a story that's narrated in Sahih Bukhari and Muslim. He said that there were 3 people before you who went out for some work. To take some rest, they went inside one of the caves in the mountain. When they went inside the cave, a big rock fell down and blocked the way for them to go out. Now they are stuck. What to do? One of the men, he said, Wallahi, by Allah, that no one can help you except that you make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the good deeds that you did in your life. So he made dua. One of the first man, he raised his hand and he said, Oh Allah, Allahumma, I had parents and they are so old and so weak, and I never ever in my life give myself and my family anything unless I give them, related to food and drinks. So he said, one day I came home and it was late and I have a milk with me in a pot. He came home and he saw his parents or his parent sleeping. So he said, karihtu, I didn't like to wake them up, and this is how a person is respecting his parent. Wa karihtu, and I didn't like to drink it, so I stand next to them and holding this cup, this pot in my hand. And he said, my kids are just roaming around my leg and they want me to sit with them and give them what I have. But he said no. He decided to give his parent the milk first. He said, I stood up until Fajr. Can you imagine, my brothers and sisters? The man is standing till Fajr. How many hours he's standing? And the cup in his hand. Until Fajr, they woke up and they drank from this milk, and then he gave it to his family members. He said, Oh Allah, if I did this act only and purely and completely for your sake, save us. So the rock moved a little bit, but they cannot move out. They cannot walk out. They couldn't. So the next man, the other man said, Oh Allah, Allahumma, I had a cousin and she is so beautiful and I want her for anything. Anything I will pay just to want her in haram. And every time I go try with her, she refuses. She refuses. In few years, after few years, she got really, in a need of money. And she came to me as a cousin and she's asking for help. So he said, I will give you 120 dinar. This is a golden dinar, the gold coins. In one condition, that I will commit haram, adultery with you. At that moment, she is a weak lady. She does not have any option. She agreed, but she was not, satisfied with this. And when he completely assured himself that no one is there, he closed the door, he closed the windows, and he's there. And he just wants to commit the sin, the adultery. The woman, this believer lady, she said, Ittaqillah, fear Allah. Fear Allah. Don't do this and don't take this action unless if it's in a proper manners. Which means don't do it unless we are married. It cannot be, just like that. These words came from her bottom of her heart directly as a strike to this man, and he woke up from his, heedlessness. He woke up, he stood up and he backed off and he said, go. I let you go. And take the money. And I don't want any money from you. And she left. He said, Oh Allah, if you know that what I did is purely and completely for your sake, save us. So the rock moved a little bit. But still they couldn't move. They couldn't go out. The third man said, Oh Allah, that I hired some people, some laborers to do some work. But after that, I gave everyone his money except one man. He left without taking the money. So I invested this money into buying and selling until it became a lot of khair, a lot of money. The man came after a few years and he said, Ya Abdullah, O slave of Allah, give me my money. So the man said, look at that side. What you see from the camels, from the cattle, from the sheep, from everything, it's yours. So that poor guy, he looked at him and he said, don't joke with me. Don't joke with me, I'm a poor man. He said, Wallahi, I'm not joking with you. And the man, this poor man, the labor, he went, and the hadith says, فَاسْتَسَاقَ, and that he didn't leave a single thing there. He took everything with him and he left. So the man said, Oh Allah, if you know that what I did, it's completely and purely for your sake, save us. So the narration said, the rock moved and they walked out safely and they survived. Now what we understand from this great hadith, many fawaid, many benefits. But just because of the time, we will just mention few that is related to our life. And then, inshallah, we will conclude. The first thing what we understand from this, that the good company, the good companion, the friends. Because wallahi, if you don't have good friends, you're gone. But because they are good, the first man, what he said? He said, Wallahi lan yunjikum illallah. That wallahi, no one can save you except Allah. He reminded everyone that Allah is there. Let's do something about it. And he said, let's do and let's ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the good deeds that we are doing in our dunya, in our life. So everyone starts saying the good things. And the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in a hadith, تعرف على الله في الرخاء يعرفك في الشدة. That no, Allah, do good deeds for Allah, do everything for Allah in your comfort time. Allah will know you and Allah will be with you, or Allah will support you when it's hardship, when you are going through difficulties. So this is what happened. They made dua. And also it's allowed in Islam that you can make dua to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala with your own good deeds. We don't require any wali, we don't require anything, in Islam it's simple. You did good thing, you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the good things that you did. Exactly what they did. And the first story about the parent. This man gave everything to his parent. Their parent is number one. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala even said in the Quran that you worship Allah alone and you be good to your parents. Can you imagine that Allah is mentioning his name and then his parents? Tawheed comes first and then the parents. This is the level of Islam. Not only that, the second man, and before coming to the second man, nowadays what will happen? Wallahi, this is the case. Now, your parents calling you or a parent's calling a person will say, I will see you after some time. I am busy watching TV. I am busy watching a match. I will see you later. My son, my daughter, I want you to do something. No, I'm going with my friends. I'll see you later. Subhanallah. This is uquq. Wallahi, this is disobeying Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is not birr. Even though how smiley you are in front of your father and mother, but this is not the birr. Number two, about the man who wants to just commit adultery and he backed off. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us and not keep us into that situation. But our situation nowadays, it's more dangerous. You know that? Because all of you, including me, we have this device in our pocket, in our hand, that anytime, anywhere, you can see any picture, you can watch any video, you can read any filthy story, right? But wallahi, if you leave this for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wallahi, may Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala protect us. But if Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put you in a situation which is really difficult and tough, and you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that, oh Allah, one day I was able to see something on my phone, I was able to watch a video, I was able to read some filthy thing, but I didn't do it for your sake, Allah will take you from your calamity. And this is the truth. And third, last but not least, the man who was God-fearing. How many times we deal with one another? We have to be God-conscious. This man, he was easily can able to give few bugs, dirham or dananir, some little amount of money with a camel or one cow or something like that, and he can say salam alaikum, that's it, right? But he gave everything that he had for this man, and he said take it, and this man took everything, literally took everything. So we have to also be like this. If we are owner of a company, if we are managers, even though if we have maids and drivers at home, what's the big deal if you give 5 KD or 10 KD every year increment? Wallahi, this 5 and 10 dinar that you are increasing, wallahi, it's not for him, it's for you. You will find it on the day of judgment. And this treatment is not only with the transactions with money of the employee and the employer. No, you can do it also with your friends, with family members, with everyone that you are dealing with. Only you have to make your relation with Allah and everything that you are dealing with only and only for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to open our minds and hearts so we can accept the sunnah of Muhammad sallallahu alayhi wa sallam in our life. I ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to make the Quran our rules and regulations so we follow it day and night. اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام والمسلمين اللهم أعز الإسلام بنا يا رب العالمين اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار اللهم اغفر لنا ذنوبنا وكفر عنا سيئاتنا وتوفنا مع الأبرار وادخلنا الجنة يا قوي يا قهار وصلى الله وسلم على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين وآخر دعوانا الحمد لله رب العالمين وأقم الصلاة.